and welcome to Talking with Famous People. And leave it to a room full of talking with famous peoples, to have no idea what the biggest trending topic on YouTube is. That is, namely, this chick named Marina Joyce. And here's what happened. So Marina Joyce apparently has had something like a couple 100,000 up to 400,000 subscribers. And then apparently in a couple of videos displayed some slightly odd behavior or something. And in one of her last video, in 2-second section of it, you can hear whispered, "Help me," like that. Okay, and so help me. You hear it whispered apparently in the video. Okay, so people started freaking out.
What did you say?
Help me, like
okay, that's
in the video that she made. It's like apparently, I haven't actually watched the video that prompted all this stuff, but apparently she's talking blah 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 and then like help me or something like that. Okay, so I don't know if it came from a ghost or not, Callum, but it could have come from both concurrently. You can't eliminate that possibility. So anyway,
established the paranormal was real, and that David,
yeah,
David,
and she started. There was a hashtag campaign started by her fans. Save Marina Joyce. Hashtag Save Marina Joyce. And no reply. Where is she? No answers from anybody. Twitter's busting up. Where the fuck's Marina Joyce? Nobody knows. And then somebody put some tweets up saying, Marina Joyce, yeah, I know if you're not safe if you're kidnapped right now, and there are all these theories about her being kidnapped, okay? And if you're not safe right now, like this tweet. And then she liked the tweet. But she didn't tweet anything. She didn't say anything, right? And so people were freaking out. And then people got worked up so much that they finally convinced the cops to go check out her house and see what was going on with her. Well, she's just sitting in her house perfectly fine, right? There's nothing wrong with her at all. There was no drugs, there was no kidnapping or anything like that. She never claimed there was. But according to her, her fans were worried about her, and so they just started this sort of campaign. It started going viral, and like any smart person, she just sat there, right? She's just like, well, fuck. This is one interpretation of it. Another interpretation is she planned the whole thing. But, I mean, it's really hard to plan a viral thing, you know?
Yeah, there's no way. You can't plan a viral thing like that. I mean, there's no way she would have known, but I do think it's funny she played along with it. Like, I feel like that's something I would have done, too, where it's just if someone posts a tweet as a joke and it's just like, oh, they're just doing this conspiracy thing.
She gained 1 million subscribers.
My god!
What I picture her going like, what is this weird thing about? What are these people saying that I'm kidnapped or something? Holy shit! Look at my subscribers. And then she just sat there for like 12 hours going like this, and that's why she never answered. That's what I would do. I'd be like, ah, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I know. Well, that's what that's what I told when it was what's his name? I can't remember his name. Necro from Portugal, and it was, I think number 6 was here as well. We were talking about it, and Necro expressed concern that there was some ethically questionable behavior on her part because she had all these people worrying about her. She had easily accessible to her the means to end their worry and chose not to for personal gain. Who thinks there's validity to that argument? Unify says no. Ubi? Marcus says no.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't do that. I would consider all the implications for having, if I really have that many people worrying and it went viral, went starting to get really big.
But you got to figure her loved ones and family knew she was okay, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's just me, my personal I just wouldn't.
Yes, Yubi, I know. We're arguing the ethics of it. We're not playing. Oh well, everyone's opinion is the same. It doesn't matter. The point is, who's right and wrong, right? Who's ethical? Did she behave ethically, sound, or not? And your position is, you wouldn't do it. But I want to know what your position is on her. I don't want to know your position on you. I want to know your position on her.
There's no way you can't argue something is unethical if there was non-action, right? I mean, it's like
I agree.
she didn't do. I mean, it's like if she was somehow. I don't know. I just don't see how you could argue that it was unethical. You might be able to argue that it's not particularly
She
ethical.
liked a tweet that said, if you need help like this, or something like that, right? So you
Who's
could
gonna
say,
fucking like, like, I don't know. That just seems so. That seems hilarious to me. That seems so funny to me. Like that.
all right,
I
well,
don't think that's unethical.
what about Colin's
Hilarious.
point? If she put the whole thing together from the outset, was it then unethical? If she did plan it and pull it all off, if she colluded with her fans, certain fans, to get this thing going and make it all roll and stuff, would that change our position about its ethics?
Yes.
It wouldn't change mine. She still didn't really do anything.
Well, I mean, if she set it up that way on purpose, then that would mean she purposely misled people. Which,
Well, to help
if you're a
me.
deontologist, Eric,
Okay.
you should.
All right, well, how about this
see-
then, Zachary? How about this? Okay, how about this? The help me was from a friend who's off camera who was trying to lift a heavy box when she was making this video. Help me. Okay, but they heard it on the camera and they're like, oh shit. With these bruises I
Oh,
got the
shit.
other day when I ran into the tree branch, because she had a couple bruises on her that people could see apparently as well.
Oh, really?
Like one or two like a bruise on her
It just
arm.
seemed like everything was so like accidental that it just led to this like.
Okay,
strange
so
spontaneity.
if she's just like, guys, I got a fucking brilliant idea. That helped me. Just all I want you to do is just put a hashtag that says save Marina Joyce. And just be like, what happened to her? Is she kidnapped or something? Why did she say help me? Just it'll be fun. It'll be cool. It'll be like an Easter egg hunt. Is it
Well,
okay then?
I'm not looking at the whole idea. I would say even if that didn't get viral, if that was still a tactic she used and it just failed, it would still be unethical to me if she tried to purposely do it. If she tried to purposely mislead people, but I don't think.
Okay,
it doesn't sound like she
I think if she purposely put the help me there intentionally to mislead people, then I agree with you. But I think if that was an accident and she was capitalizing on it, then it's okay.
Yeah, if that was an accident, she capitalized on it. I don't give a fuck, you know.
But so she could know what she
What
was
if she-
doing right after the first little speck. Go ahead, Mega Bro.
What if she was doing it unconsciously? Because people aren't aware of all their thoughts.
Well, I don't think she has any responsibility for it then.
Huh.
I think
So
that's have
people
some-
that
I guess there's
slaughter
nothing-
people unconsciously have no
No,
responsibility for it.
I mean, like, you can't accidentally slaughter someone and not realize you did it.
Mega Bro, I'm constantly
yeah, but-
sleep slaughtering. Some people sleepwalk, some people sleep talk. I sleep slaughter. So it is possible.
So what?
But you can't arrest me for it because I'm asleep when it happens. Go ahead.
I mean, you're not aware of all your thoughts, like, or all of your own motivations, unless you like try and examine everything. You know, otherwise it's just a big mess.
Okay, Explicit says that she has a video responding to it on YouTube trending. Could you possibly watch that and tell us what it says, or give us any heads up as if it says anything important? So Mega Bro, your position is, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted by chat. Could you repeat your last sentence again?
I mean, people don't know themselves very well, and I don't. It could be that she was doing it and not realizing she was doing it.
I hate to
What do you
imagine
mean?
somebody being that smart for such dumb reasons. Like, she's unconsciously that smart. I don't like that model. You know, I don't. I mean, sometimes I feel like that sort of describes me. Like, I don't. But I mean, I'm unconsciously that dumb too, right? Like, my good decisions, they feel like they're unconscious in a way. They sort of happen. My bad decisions, same thing, right? But I don't like that model for an understanding of things. Like, well, I mean, yeah, she did it on purpose, but unconsciously. To me, on purpose means you have to have intention, and if it's not on purpose, then saying it's done with some sort of subconscious awareness seems to be a not very useful distinction, maybe.
Well,
Sounds like
I
you're
know
just
it doesn't
explaining
help.
an accident.
Go ahead, Zachary. What did you say?
Well, if you say make the argument that she did unconscious, how does that differentiate it from being an accident?
Does it, Mega Bro?
Well, there would be a difference in that if she was in another situation that was similar, she might do it again, and still not realizing she's doing it. But an accident wouldn't be any more likely to re-happen.
Okay, that's a good point.
You wouldn't know that she said, "Help me."
No, but what he's saying is the distinction is if it's subconscious, she's more likely to repeat it. If it's a truly fluky accident, then it's just a one-time thing. So there is a distinction. He's right, I think. I think it's a good
but
distinction.
what evidence do we have to choose either one, though?
Oh,
How do we know if it was
I'm not saying it's a good distinction to assign. I'm saying it is an accurate thing to distinguish upon.
I
agree with you.
If it was subconscious, it could be prone to doing it again.
Yeah, but I agree with you. There's no evidence to conclude whether it's subconscious or just dumb luck or conscious. So I'm not saying it is anyway. I'm just saying that he's right. There is sort of a distinction between unconscious and accidental.
In the
Anyway,
original,
I'm just signing out. I'm just saying I don't know what's going on. I'm just making a conjecture about what might be possible.
Right. Thank you.
Never
That's
mind.
helpful. I appreciate it. Unify says it just happened beyond her control and she went along with it. I tend to agree with that understanding of it as well.
Yeah, I think yeah.
And I don't think there's. I think now let's go back to Yubi's point. Would you have come clean sooner? No, I'm fine, everybody. Would you have done that, or would you have tried to write it out? Yubi says he wouldn't have done it. He would have come clean right away. No, I'm fine, everybody. Chill out. Is that still your position, Yubi?
yeah.
Okay, Zachary, what's yours?
Because here's why. Did you say that she had services come out to her, like the police and all that?
But eventually the police came, and they're like, "Hello, are you okay?"
I
And
mean,
she's
that
like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
sucks, because they have a serious fucking job to do. Like, I've watched police pull a man beating his wife off of them. Like, they do real shit, real service for real people. So if you don't have it, if she was conscious, or if she was doing it on purpose, that would suck. Because
But that's not
Yeah,
a
but how would
reason.
you know it would get to that point? What if it was just something, even if she was doing it conscious, which I would agree is unethical. Okay, let's say if she was riding along with it, which is probably what I would do in that situation. I would just ride along and see what happens. How could she predict that the actual police would treat it as a real issue and come out to her house? There's no way she could have known that. And it seems like that's the point where people are drawing the line of like, okay, this is the process and that's the end, and let's examine it from this. But they're not examining it from like, if you were her during the process, what might you expect to happen? You probably wouldn't expect people to treat it as a real problem. It's just a Twitter trend.
Well, also somebody went to the
I
cops
get
and
what you're
said,
saying,
somebody
but
went to
I
the
guess
cops
if
and
it
said,
got
"Go
to
look
it-
for this chick." Somebody went to the cops and said, "Go look for this chick." That's the person who has the moral agency. The cops have a job to do. The person went and said, "Go look for this chick." If there's anybody to blame for wasting their time, it's the person who told the cops to go look for her. It's not her.
I agree.
I would say she would be to blame if she did the whole thing on purpose.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, now
And she is to
I'm
blame.
going to go full devil's advocate. I'm going to say let's say she orchestrated the whole thing start to finish. It's still okay. Why am I wrong?
Because she purposely misled people in the very beginning.
But did she tell any
Be the
actual
equivalent of
lies?
lying.
Did she tell any lies?
So wait, she told people help me or whatever, but she wasn't in need of help.
Well, she put
Right?
help
Exactly.
me. She put help me in a video. She put help me in a video in a way that was ambiguous. I might have a lyric in a song that says "help me." I don't expect the police to come check to make sure I'm okay.
True. Okay.
But later on, I just want to get the whole thing right. So later on in her Twitter and all that, she basically went silent after
Yes.
this and just let it ride out.
Except for
She
the one
didn't-
thing
she
she
didn't
did.
push it at all?
The one thing she did, she didn't say anything, but she liked somebody else's tweet that said, "Marina, if you can read this and you need help, like this tweet." and she
I
liked
mean,
it.
but that's a lie right there. If
Well,
she didn't need help.
If you tweet something that says if you like this tweet, you're a duck, and I like it, do I become a duck?
That's a pretty funny example. I'm gonna go get some coffee real quick.
Say that one more time.
If I tweet something that says, if you like this, you're a duck, and you like this, do you become a duck?
No, but that's not what we were arguing at all.
Well, yeah, it is. You were saying that she liked something that said, if you need help and can't talk like this, she liked it. They concluded, well, it must mean she needs help and can't talk. But my position is, no, it doesn't. It means she liked the tweet for any number of reasons, including because she thinks she's a duck.
Well, see,
I would have to put the whole situation in context, because if I'm looking at my Twitter feed and seriously have thousands of people telling me, like, are concerned for my safety, and then one person goes, dude, are you in trouble? Like this if you're in trouble, and I like it, and literally all these people are are seriously worried about me. Like, I don't know.
That's the one thing. That's the thing. Actually, I think that she can't quite pull off is the liking that thing. Ultimately, I think of all things, that's what catches her up, is liking that one tweet. She didn't do that, and she did intend to deceive, but she never actually lied, and she never really deceived. She just correctly anticipated how people would misinterpret things. Then, in my mind, it's fine. But as soon as she liked that tweet, she goes straight into gray area that makes me uncomfortable with it. Because while I can make the argument about the duck, I tend to agree it's deceptive at that point. Go ahead, Zach.
I think what she actually meant is that she needed help identifying her TI type, and that we should tweet her and tell her to come on the show because we can help her out with that.
Or maybe she needed help because she was being inundated by people tweeting her thinking she was kidnapped. Can you help me with this onslaught of inaccurate tweets? I can't talk right now. I'm chewing.
You could have just thought liking that was just kind of like fueling the fire of the kind of fun conspiracy thing.
Or maybe just
one person like take it out of like on things. Oh my God, she's really in trouble.
Or I appreciate the fact that you're concerned for my well-being. Maybe that's all the like meant. Okay, well,
that's fine. Her intent could have been that, but at the same time, just because someone's intent is good doesn't mean if they do something that causes a bunch of shit doesn't mean that it's just okay. Like,
it is okay unless they broke some sort of principle. It is okay if it causes shit. It doesn't matter. They're not responsible for shit that you do, right? If I say something and you misinterpret it and go and ignite a volcano and cause a lava flow to destroy a city, that's not my fault, it's yours.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is I don't think you can remove blame from her 100%. Like, I feel like even if her intent was good and she saw this whole situation happening, I can't remove her from the situation.
Okay, let's come to a consensus. I'm going to open the bidding at 94%. Let's remove 94% of the blame from her. Would you be okay with 94%, or is that too high? I want a deal.
I mean,
that's too high? She has more blame than 6%. She has more than 6% blame, says explicit. Zachary?
Well, I think a big thing that I think one of the reasons, like, okay, they're arguing that's unethical because police came out, or like she misled people, police came out, and perhaps she profited on it. Well, the profit thing is all mutual. People can unsubscribe from her, so I deduct that.
That's not an argument. That's not an argument.
I don't think she purposely misled anyone. I don't think that liking a tweet thing is enough to warrant that personally. So I'm going to remove that, and that only leaves the police thing, which wasn't directly her. So my opinion is I don't think she holds any moral agency. I think that it's just whatever.
So are you unwilling to bargain down from 100%, Zach? Because we've got a 94% offer on the table that explicit has rejected as having too little blame for her. All right, so I'm still going to be pushing for this 94% conclusion. Hami, would you be willing to absolve her of 94% of the blame, but leave her with 6% blame? I don't know her, and she doesn't have any bearing on my life to actually call authorities on her behalf. Let her family handle that. Well, see, that's the thing. Okay, so Hami's going 98. Well, explicit, you're trying to push for less blame. I mean, for more blame
It's
on her.
Yubi, not explicit.
It's what?
It's Yubi, not explicit. You keep
No,
naming it explicit.
no, because I'm talking about explicit's comment. He said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay. He said, well, if you really think someone's in trouble, why not say something? Well, he also said something about the family. So, what I wanted to say about the family is, when you hear, like, well, these hundreds of thousands of people who are subscribers were worried about her. Well, they don't even know her, right? Like, most channels, you can't go and just talk to them whenever you want to.
I want to ask you this, Eric. Okay, you're familiar with the trolley problem, right? What percentage would you give to the person in that scenario who doesn't act and lets the train just like kill the people?
0.
Right? 0? Then why are you giving her?
Because I'm trying to implement Chad Crandall thinking. We're looking for a solution here, Zachary, a compromise. We want an outcome. And that's why I'm going for 90. Okay, we're up to 90. Let's leave her with 4% blame to compromise. If we got a 98 from Hami, 100 from Zach. Explicit, are you willing to go 96% blame free? Well, yeah, but that's an example of altruism. It's not an example of violating a moral prohibition. See, that's the thing. We have to understand morality in terms of prohibitions, permissibilities, and obligations. So, I don't believe that you're morally obligated to help somebody in trouble. I do believe that you're morally obligated not to make somebody be in trouble. I believe that it is morally permissible to help or morally permissible to not help. I personally have an additional set of ethics that I apply to personal situations that require more action on my part than I would feel compelled to have in a sort of broad policy sort of sense. But I don't think that those are concrete, determinate moral issues. It's more like I want to be a good guy. I want people to like me and be nice and stuff, you know?
Like, what about if you're aware of someone suffering?
Well, then, like I said, I may or may not feel the need to do something. I may or may not feel the desire to do something. I don't feel obligated to do anything.
I don't know how I would if I was like put in a hypothetical trolley position, like in actuality, I'm not sure what I would do. Like I really don't know if I would be too hesitant or
Yeah, we'd both stand there thinking about it until it was too late to make a decision.
probably.
I almost
probably
guarantee it. I would. It'd be like, am I going to kill that guy to save those people? Why would I save those people? Wait, hold on. Saving's not really an act.
I think it'd be easier to decide if you weren't actually there. If someone just gave you a fucking like 2 buttons and shit, like you're like I don't know, half across the country away. From
I wouldn't. I can almost guarantee you I wouldn't act. It's safe that way.
Wait, what about if you were aware that, let's say, some nation or some group of people were going to commit a genocide against the people? You wouldn't be morally obligated to help those people?
Well, it's a prediction again. That's the problem with those sort of predictions. Those utilitarian predictions are just that. You don't know the government's going to commit a genocide. You might see them engaged in it currently. My answer to that is it would depend a little bit, but pretty much no. Stay out of it unless they're an ally or something, or unless it's easy. Unless it's easy and super clear cut. Right, yeah, that's what Unified, that's the trolley problem. So it's like I wouldn't want to go into Africa and try to prevent a genocide there. It's just a clusterfuck waiting to happen. They're gonna have.
Or would you want to prevent genocide within your own nation?
Well, I'd want to prevent a genocide if we could do it easily. Like, for example, if somehow Canada got caught with their pants down and a militant group came in and started killing all the French Canadians. They're like, fuck you, Quebec. We're going to put only American Canadians in here. And then Canada's like, help us. We can't stop these guys. We suddenly lost all of our army capabilities. Then I'd be like, sure, no problem. We'll come up there and we'll handle your bunch of whatevers, your bunch of yahoos, you know? Because you know
so
you're on...
So you wouldn't have intervened during the Holocaust, for example?
Well, I would have intervened. I would have intervened once we were attacked, for sure. Would I have done something about Hitler? Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm a big supporter of NATO. I'm a big believer in line in the sand politics, and I have a good metric to determine who our allies really are. They are those who have unfettered free expression and free and fair elections. In the case of both those things, you are guaranteed they're going to favor individualism and have some semblance of justice. So, if what's
your criterion for fairness in voting?
Okay, well, free and transparent-ish elections. It's not going to ever be perfect, but the thing is, if you have unfettered free expression, which is a lot easier to determine if you have that or not, then you're almost guaranteed to have somewhat fair and free elections, because anytime you have a lack of freedom, there is an oppression of expression. Tyrants always stop people from freedom of expression because they can't maintain power if everyone gets to say whatever they want. So that's how one way freedom of expression is probably a better metric than any. Well, that's why we have the free and fair elections. Even if it's not, we need to know that there's a transfer of power that happens.
I see.
Okay, well, yeah, it did get a little political. What was the topic?
This is talking to famous people. It always gets political.
What was the topic? I forget.
It was about that YouTuber.
Oh, we're still talking about that chick? Right.
We should. You should just keep the video just on center on ethics, because I was trying to the whole time. I don't give a fuck about the person. I just the essence of the ethical issue though is the interesting thing, you know.
Right. Totally, I agree. Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think she loses the ethical battle on my scorecard barely, based on her liking that tweet. That is enough active deception to put her into the wrongdoing section on some sort of a technical level. If she had planned it the whole time, I can totally understand how she might make a stumbly sort of barely unethical choice to like that thing and then go, I wonder if I should have done that, you know? Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm on Twitter and I read a tweet that says, if someone likes this tweet, I will shoot at my school or something, and I like it, and they go and shoot their school up. Am I accountable for that at all?
Not in my book.
You don't control their actions.
And I just then.
What if they said, if you don't like this tweet, I'll shoot at the school? Do you have to like it?
Exactly.
No.
Right, so that's why. Reciprocal burden.
No, I mean, I was arguing from the point that I shouldn't be held accountable for that.
Right, I know.
Therefore,
I know. I agree with you. And I'm saying the reason is because of that, reciprocal burdens. That if you could do it that way, then it would have to work the other way too. It would have to be like, well...
Yeah.
Yeah, and that obviously doesn't work, because then you're being compelled to act, right? Rather than choosing to act. So, okay. Any other thoughts on the ethics here of Marina?
I think her fans just overreacted.
They did, yeah. I don't know. I don't really know. This conversation is as much as I know about the situation, so that's where my judgment's coming from.
Wait, did she keep her subscribers though?
She got Probably. 1 million new ones. She got 1 million new subscribers.
But I feel that's mutual.
I think she's gonna lose some of them though.
I mean, yeah, I don't think a lot of them are going to stick around, but I mean, probably some of them will. Regardless, good for her. I'm not trying to bust her chops for that. That is irrelevant to the equation in my mind. Except insofar that we know she was successful at it, intentional or otherwise.
Now, if there was like a donation thing going on, would you think it would be more ethical? Unethical, I mean?
Yeah.
Donate.
Oh, you mean if she was soliciting donations to help find her lost self? Yeah, that would be unethical. For sure.
But what if she just had a Kickstarter set up, though?
And then she just happened to have some coincidentally kidnappery-like things, and so...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, what if she had a Kickstarter up? Because a lot of YouTubers do. If she had that, and people started donating to it, would it be unethical then?
I think if it was any explicit sense of help find me because I've been kidnapped, then hell yeah. For sure, that's unethical. You can't go like, hey guys, I'm lying to you, I've been kidnapped. Now give me money to find me because I'm actually not kidnapped. Ha, practical joke.
No, I'm not saying she consciously made one saying, help me, you know. She just already had a Kickstarter for like donation from subscribers.
Well, then I would say, yeah, I think she has an obligation to give those back because she has to assume those were given to her under false pretenses.
How does she know which ones were given to her because of that and not?
Okay, well, she has to be willing to give it back if you want it back. And she probably put an announcement up saying, if you want your Kickstarter back because you thought I was kidnapping you, that's why you gave money, then I'll give it back to you. I think that would solve the problem.
It's a good agreement. Thanks for watching Talking Famous people.